Seems legit. Laser. Hello Legitimates and welcome back to another new kind of video that I haven't done before. Today I am showing you how we do painted wood and then once you've painted it, we're going to laser engrave it to make these really fun looking tarot cards. So the first thing we do need to do is paint some wood and work out what settings we want. So I did a test grid. I went from 10% to 80% power, and then I did 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500 speed to work out what color I wanted. All right, so let's paint the wood. I have got a 3mm piece of plywood from Bunnings that I've chopped up, and I'm using Rust-Oleum paint. It is my favorite. You can, of course, use a cheaper one. But if you're using color that's not black, you might find that it's not quite as good of a color if you're using the cheaper paints. So I'm just going to attempt to put an even coat on. Now, because of my weather, the paint is actually coming out of the can really badly. So I'm having a bit of trouble painting it today. I also had to let it sit for just over 2 hours because 1 hour wasn't enough with my current weather. And I'm spraying back over because there was a little bit of missed parts. So it's also not coming out of the can very well, so I'm currently trying to fix that. But we're going to put one even coat everywhere, let it dry, and then we go to the machine. So now we're in the program. I'm going to click Picture and open an SVG file. They are my favorite. You can find this design on Etsy. It is the ramen noodles as a tarot card, which just amused me greatly. So the first thing, well, we don't have to do much to this because it's already glorious. So I am just going to put a 2mm offset. It's my favorite kind, and always click outer shapes only. For more complex designs, it will stop having all of those inner bits that you then have to delete. I'm also going to instantly right click it and make the border red because I like to separate my engrave colors from my cut colors. It just makes it easier if you're doing multiple things. So now we're going to take the measurements of the other cards that I've done because I want them all to be the same. Now you've got to remember here that those were horizontal, this one's vertical, so you're going to have to reverse where you put the measurements, and that was the wrong measurement. It was supposed to be 9,9, not 1,1, so I'm just going to change that. And then we are going to do the other way. Now, you want to make sure that your cards are all even because people might want to buy multiples and it's just going to sit nicer and be aesthetically pleasing if they are in fact all the same. So that is the card all sorted now. You can see over to the side, now that I've got different colors, it's easy to see. I'm going to pick in painted wood. I've already worked out the settings I like, which is 80% power, 400 millimeters per second, with 160 lines and 1 pass. And then my cut, I've also already got that saved as well. It's just called 3mm wood cut, which is 100% power, 10 millimeters per second with 2 passes. I never find 1 pass of any speed cuts well enough for me, so I just like to do the 2. So now we're going to click this right after we have popped in our scrap of wood. So I don't like to waste things, so that's why we're using this. And then we're just going to drag the laser anywhere and click that button I showed you. So it is going to measure how far down. I love this feature on this laser. It is the best. You don't have to manually adjust your laser to be the right height. Everything just works out. So now that that's done, we are going to we're going to pick the picture in the program that looks like a golf flag. And then we're going to, let me move the camera. We're going to go to the corner, click the button, move it back up to the opposite corner. Now, I'm going to go in line with the lowest part because that's how much I actually have to engrave. Click the button again, and then we're going to click end and done. So that's how big the piece of wood is. Now you can see here I didn't group them. That's a mistake. So I'm going to right click group after I selected them all, and then I'm going to move it over towards the corner because again, I don't like to waste things. I am going to attempt to get 3 cards here, but I don't think it's going to work. I click Control V and that's what came up. So now we're just going to click on it, right click copy, and then right click and paste, and it will give us a second one. Now, we can get them pretty close. Unfortunately, that's just not quite enough space for 3, but I'm still going to try because I don't know that yet. So Control V or right click and copy. And you can see here that no matter what I do, they just overlap a little bit. So that's okay though, because that end piece that I'm going to end up not using now, I will turn into something else. So I could make earrings or a keychain or one of my car freshies, whatever's going. So we want a little bit of a gap between them, but you don't need much. I just don't like to have it directly on the line. And then I'm going to move up one smidgy bit from the edge, and that's where I'm happy. So that is now ready to process. So I'm going to click process. It's going to come up with a warning telling me that being that close to the edge and moving that fast, it might give us issues. But it never has for me, so I just click OK. But the other option you could do is put the piece of wood in the middle of your laser, and then you won't get that alert. So it did take about 31 minutes in total to make these. I have obviously sped it up because we don't want to be here all day watching it. But with 160 lines per square inch or centimeter or whatever it is, whatever the measurement is for that, it does give a really crisp, nice edge to everything, and you get a really nice picture out of this. But it does take a while, so just bear with us on that. I also really can't stress enough to do 2 cuts around. So this is them now, and now I'm just going to take a washcloth and rub the edges to remove all of that soot. You can also sand them and it will bring it back to a wood color, but rubbing it off works just as well. You just got to give it a good rub. I use microfiber cloths all the time. This stuff does wash off, which is even better. And it just keeps the dark edge, which I like for this particular thing. So you can see here I'm rubbing my hand and there is no soot residue. That on my hand was paint. But that's it. All good to go. I think they come out great. The one thing I can't get done though is to make the wood the same color as the original. But you can alter it to get your light settings. Just do a test grid. But thank you for watching. I hope this is helpful, and make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos in the future. Alright guys, I'll see you next time. Bye!